Have you ever been worried that all your songs sound the same? Maybe a wee bit boring or bland? I know it's a fear that lives in us all. What would you say if I told you this was actually a good thing? It means that you've developed the self-awareness when it comes to your music to know when you're hitting a plateau. And the great thing about a plateau is on the other side, there's growth. That means you're actually moving towards the next level. So if you are worried that you're in this no man's land of samey songwriting, then this video is for you. When we first start writing songs, we really don't know what we're doing. We're just throwing stuff out there, and it can feel really good at the beginning that the songs just pour out of us. But the reality is, songwriting takes time, and it's a skill that you can practice and get better at. When you find you're not as excited as you once were about your songs, that they're not as fresh or new feeling, that can be a great sign to get out of our comfort zones and try new things when it comes to our music. After a while, our songwriting can feel like lived in. You know, like same old, same old. Some of us even call this writer's block, where we've almost lost interest in our own creative output. But I feel like this idea of writer's block or stuck in a rut or feeling like our music's really bland is just part of the process. So let's get you over that hump and catapult you into the next phase of your songwriting. I've got 3 tried and tested ways to get you out of those still waters and get excited again about the songs that you're writing. So when you're ready, let's go. Oh, and if you're new here, my name's Rosie Bands. I'm a music producer, songwriter, and songwriting tutor inside Radical Songwriting Academy. I'm here to help songwriters write their own brand of unique, original, amazing music that I know we've got inside us. You know when you go to bed at night that you've got really good songs in there, you just need to get them out. You've came to the right place. So let's jump in. First strategy to get you out of the samey bland songwriting is to switch up your musical diet. I want you to listen to music that's outside your normal listening diet. Switching up your listening diet is a little bit like learning a new language. When you start learning a new language, you unpack the patterns that are in your native language. You start to see your native language in a different light. You learn how other cultures and other people say the same thing but completely differently, and the references that they have for those things in the culture. Like how in Spanish, estado de ánimo means state of your soul, which in English just means your mood. I think that's really beautiful. I think that's really poetic. The state of my soul is sad. But to a Spanish speaker, it's completely normal. Music is the same. So I'm from Scotland, which is in the UK. I grew up there, lived there. Because of this, my musical diet for all that time was overwhelmingly white, UK-centric, US-centric, and very Western. The first CD I ever bought was the Spice Girls. And the same when I went to university, the music I was taught was Western music. But here's the thing, there is so much more. There's culture and people and traditions and different kinds of scales and tones, music theory principles, sounds, patterns. Music is just as varied as the languages that we speak. And so if you feel like your songs are sounding a bit samey, then I challenge you for 1 week to listen to a completely different style of music. Understand that our little window of what we know about music quite often is really narrow, and we need to all do the work in opening up that window. Now, this isn't about appropriating another's culture. It's about understanding that your way of thinking about music is not the only way of thinking about music. And we do that through exposure, appreciation, and deep listening to the music from other places and other people, especially if we are stuck in a little narrow lane. So that's my first point, is to go and expand your listening diet, to listen to songs from other places and other people that you wouldn't normally listen to, and start to really open up your ears and open up your mind to what is possible when it comes to music. And before I move on, I really want to reiterate that cultural appropriation is not cool, and we see it all the time in music, particularly, obviously, in the West. And that if you're deeply inspired by something that you hear, instead of going away and copying it, do a little bit of research and find out where it's from, what it means. Does it have some kind of resonant cultural meaning? If so, is that relating to your particular culture? And if the answer is no, really appreciate that when we are doing this, we're doing it with sensitivity and deep respect for the cultures of other people, the ideas, the songs, the sounds of other people. My second strategy to get you out that no man's land of bland songwriting is to flip your songwriting process. Do you usually write the lyrics first? Well, this time start with a melody. Maybe you usually sit at the piano and improvise to come up with your ideas. Well, instead, go for a walk and do it a cappella. Are you a guitarist? Write a song on piano. Are you a piano player? Well, go and write a song on the ukulele. Or scratch the instruments entirely and do the entire song only with the human voice. If you can get out of your usual pattern and comfort zone a little, you might feel the squirm, the challenge to work your way through. But this can bring really cool, interesting, fresh ideas and sounds to you. Our muscle memory gets a little bit trapped after a long time of doing relatively the same thing. And if you're not really diligent on your musicianship, which means getting piano lessons, getting guitar lessons, getting singing lessons, and making sure you're growing as a musician at the same time, which is hard to do, whilst we're also writing tons of songs, then we can find ourselves kind of stuck in our little patterns and habits of musicianship. Think like a beginner, think like a child, get curious, follow your nose. You know, you're a songwriter, you're a creative person, you've got a great sense of what sounds good, a great sense of what's interesting. Follow that instead of relying on the chords that you know or the chords that you don't know. Use the voice, use the body, get out of your usual habits and ways of doing things. When it comes to flipping your process, you might find that you need a tiny bit of music theory to help you through. For example, let's say you're mainly a lyricist and you use your voice, and for the first time you really want to be able to accompany yourself on the piano or the keyboard or the guitar. Learning just the basics of music theory, like what a chord is and how a chord is made, can really help you wonders. And for anyone who's looking to do this, I actually have an online songwriting school called Radical Songwriting Academy. The doors open in September. You can sign up to the wait list, and then when those doors open, you get all the information you could need if that's something that interests you. It's 8 weeks, and over the 8 weeks, we write a 4-song EP. Shameless plug over. Let's get to the third strategy. Strategy number 3 to stop writing boring songs is to collaborate. Woo! Okay, this strikes the fear into some people and it gets others really, really excited. But hear me out. Collaboration is wildly powerful when it comes to your songwriting. Collaboration is like a whole education in and of itself because you're in real time, you're on the spot, you're writing with someone else, and it's either going to flow really, really well or be a little bit tricky, but either way, you're going to learn a lot about yourself, about your process, and about how to write a good song. The chemistry that can arise when two songwriters start to connect with each other, it's incredible, and it's always there for you to utilize whenever you need it, to get out of this rut, to get out of this feeling that all your songs sound the same. Inject a little bit of life from elsewhere, from outside your own creative being, and really see how things can change. Collaborating can stretch you a lot, and it will make you a much better communicator as well as songwriter. And I mean, come on, we can all be doing with a little bit of help in that department, right? Just look at the world around us. And I know collaboration, particularly online, can feel a bit scary, so I do have something to help you out. It's called your Online Collaboration Guide, and inside it has a whole bunch of resources to help you, from email templates on how to approach songwriters for collaboration, to split sheets and contracts so that you can work out the percentage of the song that each of you are going to get the rights to, copyright, royalties, all that stuff. I've also added a list of online collaboration icebreakers to just help get the creative juices flowing, to bypass any awkwardness that some of you might be feeling when you jump online to collaborate for the first time. And there's a massive list of resources in there too to help you actually practically do the collab on the Zoom call or on BandLab or wherever you're choosing to do it. So those were my 3 strategies, and they're 3 of many. However, those were the top 3 that came to my mind. So tell me in the comments if you're going to use one of them, what one speaks to you the most. Are you currently struggling with your song sounding a wee bit samey and bland and you really want to freshen things up? I would love to know where you're at. And in the meantime, please do like and subscribe. This is a new channel in case you didn't notice. So I'm really chuffed if you're watching this video because you're one of the OG crew. Thank you so much for watching. You might enjoy some of my other videos if you enjoyed this one, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Happy songwriting, radical songwriters. You got this. Keep going. Don't stop writing your music. I'll see you soon.